Warning, this episode of Fanatic Fiction contains massive spoilers for the story On Across an Arrow. If you haven't read it yet, click on the link provided below, read it, then listen. For those of you who have read it, enjoy.
Hello, I am Befallen Tragedy, and with me here today, I have, as always, Lightning the Second.
Hey there.
The great and tardy AR.
Hi, I'm tardy. It's so much fun.
Elliot. And finally, we have Surefire.
Hello, everyone.
Alright,
I like how he's
and
normal.
today we are discussing the story On Across an Arrow, which is, of course, known for... Well, actually, I think this is Lightning's job. Lightning, what is the story known for?
Sleep deprivation.
On Across an Arrow is the go-to fanfic for the for Rule 63. Rule 63 is the gender bent dimension, as in there is a male version for every female version of the characters.
And vice versa.
So this story introduces the male versions of the main six. That would be Duskshine, Butterscotch Elusive, Rainbow Blitz, Berry Bubble, and
Applejack.
Applejack.
How do you
yes.
forget that? It's the only normal one.
It's the only one that stayed the same.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so, immediately, the story kind of starts out like any normal fanfic would.
With
and
words.
Where it opens. Yeah, with words. And it opens with Twilight and the gang talking about going on vacation to Manhattan, of course. And Twilight wants to try out a new teleportation spell for her and her 5 friends. Crap. I'm sorry.
Are you struggling with this? I can sort of tell what happens.
It's late, and we're recording late because AR is...
Well, that's why I'm tardy. Anyways, basically what happens is that Twilight reads this book and finds about these travel spells. She can go anywhere in the world she wants. So she gets the idea, hey, I can learn these spells and I can go somewhere with my friends. So what she does, she goes to her friends and finds out places that they would like to go to. Applejack brings up the idea of Manhattan. Rarity likes the idea as well, and since Applejack's already been there, they can get a basic idea of where everything is. So she gets some other friends as well, but while she's acquiring her friends to join her on this mission, they're needing special ingredients. They're needing a blue feather, provided thankfully by Rainbow Dash. They're needing a stone of the sun, which is basically a ruby. They have some fancy words for it, but it's a ruby. They need a ruby. They need some sunflower oil, and I believe they need one other thing, or was that it?
A white vase.
A white vase with Fluttershy.
A vase.
So after acquiring all these ingredients that I have stated before you, unto you people listening to us, I feel sorry for each and every one of you, they do this and gather on top of a hill. And so Twilight, of course, prepares a spell. Rarity has a massive package of stuff with her, as always. And so Twilight gets the spell ready. She's looking for these wavelengths sort of thing in the air where they connect to...
The ley lines.
Yes.
Yeah, the ley lines.
Ley lines. Where they connect to...
Magic.
Different areas. And so she can't see them. They're a bit blurry at first, so she changes her frequency, and then they become clearer, and she sees one that looks like it was going in the direction of Manhattan. Grabs it, and stuff begins to happen. I'll let someone else take over. I've been talking too long.
They get sucked into a vortex, basically, and then they get teleported to what seems to be the exact same place in both space and time, but that is not the case. For as they venture back to Ponyville, they encounter 2 ponies, of which they are both familiar and unfamiliar with. Mm-hmm. It is Harpsy and Barbar.
Barney.
Or Babar. Depends on...
Babar? Not that cartoon. Anyways.
Yeah, depends if you're French or not. Anyways.
Our first encounter of gender bent ponies, Lyra and Bonbon.
Yeah, it's Lyra and Bonbon, but male. And, of course, they're just as strange and eccentric as usual. They're just...
Like me.
They're just dudes.
Yep.
Yes.
Alright, I'm still drawing a blank. What happens next?
Really?
The very next thing that happens is they finally realize that they've been thrown into this other dimension. Their experience with Babar and RPC kind of get them to realize that. So Twilight suggests let's go to the library and see what we can find there.
They want to check and make sure that their other selves aren't here, thinking that maybe they got transported to their world as they got transported. So males went to the females went to the males, and they wanted to check that out.
The thing with this universe, which we didn't describe yet, is it's just basically every gender in the world is just flipped. That's all that is with this universe.
Right. Pretty much, yeah.
And other than that, it's completely parallel. Events happen the exact same way as they did in the other world. So they were mirroring each other until this event came along.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, and then they get to the library, and
I think it's also important to mention that their male counterparts realized that something had happened. Like right after they left to go and explore the area, I think it was Duskshine.
Yeah, Duskshine. He went on top of the hill because some weird phenomenon had happened, so he went to investigate it. Beforehand, he was actually preparing the exact spell Twilight was preparing, but he noticed this anomaly, so we went to check it out.
Right.
Anyways, again, what happened next is they go to the library, and they peek in, and they see the male version of Twilight Sparkle, Duskshine.
No, they don't.
Wait, no.
They see the female version of Spike.
What's her name? Spines?
Spines,
yeah, that's
Spines. Yeah, they see Spines.
She tries to kill
Spike
them.
in there. and they sort of realize what happened, so who do they send in there? They send in Fluttershy with Rarity's scarf.
And Applejack's hat.
And Applejack's hat. Yeah.
They don't know Butterscotch yet, so I think it's Spines that calls her Butterscotch first, right?
Yes, it is.
And they kind of just go off the lie that she's sick.
So that's why his voice sounds kind of funny.
He got poison joke.
And Fluttershy rents out a book after some awkward conversation with the female Spike.
Yeah, that has to be weird.
Well, it would be weird in any situation, but yes, that happens.
Don't forget Duskshine showing up and almost catching them in the act.
Yes,
almost.
indubitably. Duskshine returns from his adventure on top of the hill and searching what had gone on. He returns back to the library, sees what he thinks to believe is Butterscotch, talking with Spines, like, well, hello there, Butterscotch. Not in that voice. That's not his voice.
Yes, hello, Butterscotch.
Oh, yes, hello there, Butterscotch. How are you? The sort of prim and proper cantaloupe voice. I'll be right back. Keep going. Have something to tend to. Just keep going, Tommy. I'll be right back.
Anyways, they make a hasty escape.
After they check out Supernaturals.
Yes, books about supernatural stuff like ghouls and goblins, which was a fun but hard game.
No, it's not. Supernaturals is the book is the natural cure-all book.
Yeah, it's the book that has like all the cures to all the different sicknesses and stuff.
I was making a joke about.
Not sure a successful troll or intentional joke.
It was an intentional joke that went wrong. Anyways, back to the point.
Hold on, I gotta make a police report.
Oh, yeah. You want? Okay, yeah. Elliot here might be gone for a while because some drunkards were yelling outside his apartment, and him and his roommate had to go beat their door and tell them to shut up and stuff. Stuff happened. In other words,
had to rough them up.
Yeah, they had to rough them up. So afterwards, they make a hasty retreat and they head to Sweet Apple Acres because they think it's a safe place to hide. And who do they run into there?
They run into the Cutie Mark Crusaders.
Yes.
Or their male versions.
Yes, and their names are Silverbell, Applebuck, and...
Scooterroll.
Scooterroll,
yeah,
that's right. Scooterroll. That's so stupid. I don't like it. I don't like that name.
I like how it came in. That's so stupid. I don't like that name. That's a great place to come into this.
Well, Silverbell used to be Sweepy Bell, so...
I kind of like Silverbell better than Sweepy Bell.
Yeah.
That's why he changed it. Also, I'm back.
Gosh.
Okay. Anyways, and the Cutie Mark Crusaders, the main six, trick them into thinking that they're secret agent spies. Yeah.
Secret agent man.
Oh,
I beat you to that, son.
Here comes the mayor's in black.
Anyway, they trick them
let's
and
keep going.
They're like, we need a base of operations. And they're like, we have the perfect place out by the Epicuree Forest.
I like how you made that sort of like robotic monotone. We need a base of operations. We have the perfect place at the Everfree Forest.
Anyways, and it's quite
now?
literally a hole in the ground.
Yay.
It's a rabbit warren.
Yeah, it was a rabbit warren, according to Fluttershy.
Because she would know.
Of course.
All right, so yeah, it's a rabbit warren. They go in there. It's somehow it's small, but yeah, it's big. It's big enough to hold all 6 fully grown mares.
No, it's not small. They say it's actually quite spacious.
It's weird because rabbits are small, unless they're like a giant.
Have you seen how many children a rabbit can have? It has to be huge.
Like I said, unless it's like the giant 30-pound rabbits from Europe that they used on the set of the Teletubbies, then that's different.
Anyways,
so they set up base there, and they're like, "Oh, we need supplies. We can't go on very long without supplies."
Well, yeah, they need food.
Yeah, we need food.
So they send Fluttershy to go and pick up groceries.
Because she'd be the most inconspicuous.
Clearly.
Yeah, one of the most brightly colored of the bunch would be the most inconspicuous.
Well, I think Rainbow Dash is more brightly colored.
Yeah. I know, I'm just saying one of them.
More recognizable.
Yeah, but she sticks out like a sore thumb.
But thumbs don't turn rainbow colored.
Shut up.
Anyway.
That wasn't the point.
They took her. There's purple and green, sometimes blue, red if it's bleeding, yellow if there's pus. They could turn the rainbow.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Not at the same time.
I don't know how I don't know why we made that connection, but it actually works. Moving on.
Okay.
What about orange?
So
you can tell it's late.
No, it's because I'm here.
No, it's because it's 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
she goes.
Anyways.
Onwards and upwards.
Onwards and upwards, as always.
I'm not capable of going upwards at the moment.
Well, I'm able to go downwards.
Shut up, everybody. Let's get on with this. Shut up.
They want to hear us talk off about...
But if we shut up,
okay, guys, let's all be
quiet. Oh my god, AR, shut
story, please.
Anyways, Fluttershy gets to the market, and she's going around buying all this stuff, and she bumps into someone and spills all her groceries. And that's someone, or some pony, I guess, if you're feeling cliche, is...
we have to be cliche.
Butterscotch, her male counterpart. And what happens?
Well,
the universe exploded. End.
That's when you start realizing that what the story is all about, because they get into this awkward conversation where they decide that I think it's Fluttershy realizes that it's her male counterpart before Butterscotch does, and eventually,
doesn't.
Huh?
Butterscotch doesn't realize it's her until the end.
Right.
Yeah.
But Butterscotch helps her with her groceries, and through talking, they kind of realize that they have everything in common because they're the same person. And Butterscotch ends up saying something along the lines of, "I like you."
I like you. Just like that.
And
that creepy sort of whispering
like
manner.
Creepy whisper.
And of course,
I like you.
Fluttershy says, "I like you," back to him. So
they like each other. Aww, they like each other.
It was rather dying.
Nah, not really.
Yeah.
So adorable because
Anywho.
And so
not best pony.
Butterscotch says something like, do you want to go and get something at Sugar Cube Corner? And Fluttershy says, well, I would love to, but I have to go back to my friends. They're expecting me to come back with food. But if there's any other time later on, then we can do that.
Hold on. So you're saying Butterscotch wanted to take her to the candy shop. Was he going to let her lick his lollipop?
Well, that depends. What flavor is it? Is it apple?
Probably.
Anyway,
I'd say
enough innuendos.
We'll get to that later on, I'm sure.
Enough with my own joke that I laughed at. So
that's how lame your joke is at this hour.
Let's keep going.
Please.
That was so bad I didn't even laugh.
That didn't deserve a laugh. You deserve a slap in the face, good sir.
I know. I'm sorry. Let's get on with it.
Take that.
And I made a bad joke.
Objection.
So anyway, after Fluttershy leaves, who approaches Butterscotch but Rainbow Blitz?
Rainbow Blitz.
You'll never guess whose counterpart this is.
Twilight's, right?
Yes, congratulations.
Oh
you win a brand new car.
Oh my god.
So Rainbow Blitz comes up to
Butterscotch,
who is completely smitten at this point in time.
He's practically comatose.
And
good song.
Rainbow Blitz gets the idea. He figures out that he's met this
pony of his dreams
mare, and actually gets the name out of him as well. Like
Fluttershy.
Butterscotch tells him that her name is Fluttershy.
Oh, her name is Fluttershy.
Oh yeah, I mean her name is
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then Fluttershy, on her end, she heads back to the hedge and kind of sort of reveals she ran into Butterscotch. And big surprise, Twilight flips.
Well, of
out.
course, it's her personality to do so. But anyways, yes, she flips. And decides maybe it's best for her never to go out again in her entire life and to keep her locked away in a cage in the back corner of the hedge.
That is not true.
No.
It does not happen.
Which they do have a cage, which I never did understand.
They don't have a cage.
They have a lot
Twilight made a cage.
Yeah, she made one.
Oh, never mind.
We'll get to that later. Anyway,
she made one a little bit later.
So
she made a go-go cage. We'll get to that later. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So, God damn it, I'm laughing at my own stupid jokes. I can't. I'm too tired.
All right, so back to Rainbow Blitz and Butterscotch after Twilight freaking out. Rainbow Blitz like, hey, you got yourself a Philly friend, didn't you? He's like, yeah, I guess so. He's like, oh, this is so great. I'm gonna go fly over right now to tell Duskshine. Yeah, that's his name, which he does. And then Duskshine gets this weird idea in his head, like, yeah, I don't remember specific types. Does anyone else remember specifics?
He thinks they're invaders.
It's like interdimensional ponies invading.
Yeah,
pony
the
boats,
reason he comes
like
to this
that.
conclusion is after reading the spell book, the travel book that he was reading, because, like we said, this is exactly mirrored, and he read the same book Twilight did, but he didn't get a teleport because of the weird incidents with her teleporting into this world. He reads on and sees a few warnings or casualties and ending up in alternate universes, sort of thing. And so he gets this idea from seeing, from Rainbow Blitz describing this counterpart, this mare that Butterscotch met. So that's just a little bit.
And he immediately makes a connection and writes her name down in a notebook.
Yeah, well, another reason he did.
I think
like
another reason he did that was I'm pretty sure he actually went to visit Butterscotch in between that point.
Oh yeah,
because Butterscotch said she was sick and Well, no, Fluttershy imitating Butterscotch said she was sick.
Yeah, he went by later on.
Went by with T.
Are we great at describing
checked on her.
stories? So
we'd be better if it was earlier.
I love the complaints.
Easily.
This is so. See, the thing is with this, it's more entertaining when we're unprofessional. People don't get that.
It is.
No, because I'm making bad jokes that only I'm laughing at.
Exactly, we're all laughing at you making bad jokes. It's a win-win situation.
Or no one hears them, like my Death Note joke I just made. Maybe you guys did hear it, but
I heard
you
it.
didn't
it
pay
wasn't funny. Because you cannot put a Death Note for fun.
I didn't hear it.
Righto, moving on. Yes.
Moving on.
Lightning, carry onwards.
Well, anyway, after the whole Duskshine thing, it goes back to Twilight and her friends, and they do need to go out again.
Pinkie Pie made a salad using up all the carrots.
Right, yes.
Gotta go get all my food.
And at the same time, Rainbow Dash is beginning to say, I can't stand it anymore, I'm going stir crazy, I need to get out of here. And of course, Twilight is doing everything she can to, keep Rainbow Dash inside.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways.
But eventually, they decide that Applejack is going to go out to go and get some more supplies.
They take away her hat so she wouldn't get seen.
Exactly, so she wouldn't get recognized. But so what happens with this though is that Rainbow Dash, because they won't let her go, she's like, fine, I guess I'll take my nap. It's noon now. I normally take a nap around this time anyways. Then bing, an idea comes in her head. She talks to Twilight, I need to go out now. What? No, I said no, listen to me. I need to fly now. Okay, why? Because now is when I take my naps. And she's like, what? No, you don't understand. Now is when I take my naps. From noon until 5, I sleep. Therefore, I need to go fly now. And she's making the analogy that if this world is mirrored, her counterpart he would be sleeping at this time. So she's able to actually go out and fly. And Twilight hesitantly allows her to do so.
Yeah, and then what's the first thing Rainbow Dash does, or does Applejack thing happen first?
I think Rainbow Dash's thing happens first.
Yeah, because she flies around for a bit, no worries, and then she decides to go on home out of curiosity to her house, Rainbow Bliss's house. Yeah. Out of curiosity.
And so she does a little home invasion thing.
Pretty much.
Of her own house.
Takes the key from under the mat she normally has, opens the door, goes inside, sees all the trophies and everything. Everything's the same. The poster of the Wonderbolts is slightly different.
But here's the best thing. She's like, wait a minute. If he's exactly like me, that means... And what does she do? She goes to his dresser, top drawer, back of it, and she finds an issue of Play Cult?
Something like that.
The Play Pony.
Play Pony, right.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Cold Colors edition.
Yeah, the all male edition.
Because they are both they're both bi-curious.
Yeah.
She makes a joke out of that, doesn't she?
Something like that.
I think so.
Anywho.
I'm okay with this.
Anywho, what happens after that is Blitz ends up entering the house, says, "Who's in here?" Not exactly like that.
Yeah.
But still.
More or less.
More or less like that. He comes in yelling, "Who's in my house?" And
Someone's
so basically...
been sleeping in my bed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So basically...
Rainbow Dash hides. Rainbow Blitz starts tearing the place apart with a tornado.
Wait, hold on. Let's talk about where Rainbow Dash hides, or let me. She hides in basically the ventilation system of the house.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Question.
Why doesn't she just leave through the ventilation system?
No. What? Yeah, one, why does the Cloud House need ventilation? Two, what kind of impossible villain is Rainbow Dash that she has ventilation shafts big enough for full-grown creatures to fit inside?
I don't know. Shigo?
I don't know.
Dr. Kraken? Was that his name?
Draken.
I said Kraken. Why I say Kraken? Draken. Yeah, anyways.
I don't know.
You're tired.
I'm not tired. It's only 10:40. That's not late for me. That's early. I go to bed at 3. Anywho.
Shut up.
I get my best
Just
ideas
keep
at
going.
3. I always stay up till 3 now. I get my best ideas then. So, moving onwards. So what happens is that Rainbow Bliss basically does sort of a tornado-like thing inside of the house. So you see this rainbow tornado beginning to occur. The thing with that is you can repair a cloud house easily. I mean, clouds are abundant. Just stick them on each other, and it's like Lincoln Logs. Boom, new house. But there's something like called possessions that people have inside these homes they build that are not as easily to rebuild as clouds.
Yeah.
And so...
Like a best young flyer.
Yeah, she ends up fleeing from the house and being chased by Rainbow Blitz. Meanwhile, back in Ponyville.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice. No. Meanwhile, back in Ponyville,
Meanwhile,
you have
in the market
Applejack
of
scurrying
Ponyville.
about town, going about town, looking at all the sort of flip-flop gender scenarios going on down there.
Yeah.
Somebody carry on. I've been talking too much.
Okay.
Well-
And then, anyway, she arrives at the apple stall because she needs apples, and
Apples?
there's a familiar looking little colt there with yellow and red hair, wearing a blue backwards baseball cap, like some kind of bad '90s cliche, and
Is it Pipsqueak?
and immediately he goes, "Hey, buy some apples," and
Buy some
she's
apples?
like,
Buy some apples.
and she's like, "Wait a minute,
Some
I
apples.
recognize you." And she realizes, oh, it's the gender crossed version of course, her younger sister, Applebuck. And they get to talking, and Applejack convinces him that she is the Applejack's long lost cousin.
No, she
JJ.
did that beforehand.
No, she did it at the stall.
No, that's...
No,
No, remember, it's because when they met
the JJ at the stall.
they met.
No, when they first met in Sweet Apple Acres, when they arrived in the place, she got to talking a
She
bit
didn't
with
tell him what
Applebuck, and
name was.
Applebuck notices her cutie marks. Are you part of the Apple family? He asked her.
Yeah, that's true. It is when they first met him before.
Yeah, this is more
And then-
affirmation and confirmation of that sort of thing.
Right,
All right.
because then when
All
she's
right.
walking through the market, it's actually Applebuck that calls out to her and says, "Hey, cousin JJ."
Yeah, and anyways, after they get done, after a while,
Yeah,
them
well, so they're talking,
and
but she
Applejack
realizes you're too young to be here at the stall by yourself. Where's your is your brother here with you? And he says, yeah, Applejack just stepped away from him, and she's like, oh crap. Pretty much. And so what happens, she ends up getting free apples, but then Butterscotch comes alongside and says, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were Applejack, because he approached her, says, Applejack, and she turns around, Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were Applejack.
Meanwhile, Dateline, Guys Above Ponyville. Rainbow Dash and Rainbow Blitz are having quite a
race
flight together. Yes.
Aerial combat! Dun, dun,
Rainbow
dun,
is chasing
dun, dun,
Rainbow. Blitz is chasing Dash. And they're pretty evenly matched because, of course,
same person.
Yeah, same pony.
Yeah, but since Applejack, Rainbow Dash had the lead on him. Did I just say Apple Dash like you did a while ago?
No.
Okay, good.
Who said Apple Dash earlier?
I don't remember who that. I think that was you in the last recording or something. Someone said
Me?
Apple Dash and it was hilarious. But anyways, Rainbow Dash.
Moving on.
Rainbow Dash.
You just said Rainbow Dash.
Yeah, Rainbow Dash. Anyways, Rainbow Dash has a bit of lead, so she's a bit ahead of Blitz. And right now, Blitz is screaming, "Come back here, you Philly faker!" Philly faker.
That makes me mad.
Oh, yeah. So what she does the smart thing. She slows down, and when Rainbow Blitz is catching him on her real fast, she bucks him in the face, and he goes flying.
And that's also when she
that's the best
ends
part
up
of the whole
doing
story right there.
That's also when she ends up doing the double rainboom.
No, not quite. That came after.
Not quite. That came after because that happens with a bit more arguments between them and him screaming, "Wait, come back!" Because he recognized her looks, her rainbow mane, the color, and more importantly, her cutie mark.
Because he got a nice close look at that flank.
Of course he has to. It's Rainbow Dash.
If you know.
So he's asking, "Wait, come back. Let's talk this out," sort of thing. He's flying faster, trying to catch her. She's like, "I can't." And there's a bit more arguing. Back to Ponyville, we find Applejack, known as Cousin
Talking
JJ.
with Applejack.
I had to space out the Jack because I don't. Anyways, she's talking with Butterscotch, gets distracted, and then so Applejack comes up from behind. Someone else take over.
Applejack comes up behind Applejack and is like, "Wait, who are you?" And they're like, "Oh," and Applebutt's like, "Oh, well, this is old cousin JJ from over on the other side of Equestrian." She's like, "I don't remember no JJ." She's like, "Are you sure you're part of the Apple family?" She's like, "Well, I know I am." So they start quizzing, Applejack starts quizzing Applejack.
Yeah.
This is going to get really confusing.
So while that's going on, there's a bit of bickering going on and disagreements between Applejack and Applejack because it's more of the, not pride thing, just the Apple family honor and dishonesty really involved. And so
I would have said stubbornness.
that too. That's involved too.
Yeah, that works a bit better.
Anywho, while that's going on, Rainbow Dash is still fleeing from Rainbow Blitz. I can't remember his name at first. So what happens, though, she flies faster and faster and ends up going into a massive nosedive and trying to get away and does the double rainbow, a move that she's been wanting to do since that she wanted to do back in Ponyville before they just left. She's been practicing to do it. Did you guys mention that the double rainbow was performed by Rainbow Blitz in the beginning?
Yeah,
No, we
didn't mention that yet.
No, we did not mention that.
I thought it was funny because I think at that point in time, Rainbow Dash sees it and starts jumping up and down, almost like Scootaloo would be while watching Rainbow Dash.
Terrible! You didn't even mention a double rainbow at the beginning to know that they're.
You missed it too,
It wasn't
all right?
important.
It's kind of important because the fact that what's his face? Rainbow Blitz does it makes Rainbow Dash want to do even more because she feels that she's the only one who can do so, basically, with the whole pride issue with Rainbow Dash. But now that Rainbow Blitz has seen that this mare did the exact same thing he did, he gets concerned about it and goes to Dustshine after, of course, losing Rainbow Dash's tail when she does Rainbow and disappears.
But wait, whenever she initiates the rain boom, of course, the sonic cone that she was in snaps, and it snaps Blitz into the next week, basically.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
Got kicked in the face.
Not to mention she kicked him again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got hit twice.
The kicks have been doubled.
Hooray! Hooray!
I thought I made bad jokes. Anyways.
Great jokes.
And then finally, Rainbow Dash goes back to the, what is it called? The hedge.
Over the hedge. Yes. Meanwhile, back in Ponyville, Applejack, Applebuck, and Butterscotch are all looking at the double rainbow, and Applejack's, woohoo! He did it again! You see that? And then,
I thought it was funny because I think the exact words they have in here is they go, "A double rainbow all the way across the sky." Oh wow! Oh my gosh!
What does it mean?
Yeah, it was something along those lines, but basically it was a second rainbow that day, for a second double rainbow for a lot of Ponyville. but it wasn't Rainbow Blitz that did it. But anyways, Applejack, female, so Cousin JJ basically managed to slip away into the crowd and run back and run back to the hedge.
No, Applejack's now a Pegasus.
Clearly, she's a ninja Pegasus. And manages
Oh,
to run back
ninja!
to the hedge.
You saw Rhythm is Magic. She is a ninja.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I saw that. She's not a ninja, she's a samurai.
Onwards.
Onwards and upwards.
Lightning,
Yes.
you want to take over?
Well, they do go, like you said, she goes back to the hedge, and has to tell Twilight yet again that they ran into their male counterparts.
And of course, Twilight being Twilight. Ah, are you mad?
And of course, and so Rainbow says the same exact thing that she ran into Rainbow Blitz.
Yes. So they're both in equal amount of trouble. Except Rainbow Dash in a bit more trouble for doing a Sonic double rainbow thingy.
Well, yeah, because then, now Twilight's getting the idea that every single time they go out into the town they cause a commotion, which definitely was caused by the double rainbow.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
Let's see.
It's not exactly an unfounded fear. They kind of do cause a commotion every time they go out.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Twilight even states, every time we've gone out, we cause this commotion.
But then, of course, now, so, again, they realize that they need more supplies. And this time, they send out Rarity. Rarity actually says, I need to go and get shampoo, first of all, or conditioner or whatever.
Conditioner.
And we also need to go and get a...
Sunflower oil.
Sunflower oil for the spell. So they send Rarity out this time. And, of course...
Well, another thing about Rarity does before she leaves is she has a spell she knew for when she was younger, which gets rid of her cutie mark and changes her main color, I believe, slightly, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't change her main color, but it does change...
It's just her cutie... It just removes the cutie mark.
Removes the cutie mark, they draw a new one over it, which
it's
is
a happy face. No.
Two umbrellas.
No, it's two umbrellas.
And they give her an umbrella. And what is her name? It's like Rarity Umbrella?
Yeah, Umbrella.
Rarity,
Umbrella.
I don't know.
So they let her go. And, of course, she has her own secret agenda for this. After hearing about all the other girls meeting their male alter egos,
it was mainly about Fluttershy, though, about Fluttershy falling in love with Butterscotch.
Yeah.
So she decides that she needs to go and meet her male counterpart and see what he's like.
And he has a pretty cool name, I think.
Elusive.
He's great.
It's a play off of Rarity. Rarity and Elusive are supposed to be the same words.
Yeah, kind of like Applejack and Applejack. Oh my
god. Oh my gosh, I see a connection here. Anyways.
Well, she actually made a joke about that. It's like, I guess it's not very gender specific.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, she gets there and she, Elusive opens the door. It's like,
well,
oh,
yeah,
hello,
you have to say it in his voice. Go. Say it in his voice, BT.
Hello, dear.
Oh, that was actually pretty good. Why, hello there.
Why, hello there. How are you? Oh.
I like that. Who's doing that?
That would be me.
Awesome.
Lightning
that is really good Elusive. I like that. If it's...
Oh, no.
Lightning is not going to draft you for the story. I just know it. Without your consent.
Okay.
Everyone has to audition.
Rarity and Elusive get to talking.
And kissing and hugging.
They are almost immediately lost in each other's
eyes. Yeah.
I enjoy the dialogue that the writer gave between Rarity and Elusive. It's funny because it's a drama is what it turns into. I love the transition into it. All the dramatic words and sentence structure and the fanciness and everything. I just found it funny.
It turns into one of those Shakespeare
especially when they're departing in the end, which we'll get to later, but...
Oh, yeah.
Please, Prince Solaris, bless our love. Yeah.
Prince Solaris, please bless our love. After a long while
of introductions, getting used to each other, and lots of dialogue, they pray a blessing from Prince Solaris.
Princess Celestia.
Yeah. But another thing about Elusive is that he notices right away Rarity's cutie mark. It's drawn, and that he knows the spell used by it.
Yeah.
Because
he didn't reveal that until later. Yeah.
No, that's in this first sort of scene. But he
pretty much says it right out.
Yeah.
Oh right. Do you think me a fool or something like that?
It's unladylike to tell such bold-faced lies.
Bold-faced white lies.
Something
like that.
Yes.
I would have said bold.
Anywho, after a bit of this, what happens is that Rainbow Bliss that enters?
Yep,
of course,
yes,
Rainbow Blitz.
Rainbow
Blitz. That's right.
He was commissioned by Duskshine to investigate.
No. See, what happened with that is that when he was moving his napping cloud in front of the sun when they were asking for the blessing from Prince Solaris.
Oh yeah.
And Elusive goes out and yells at him.
Yes, please, someone go do the Elusive voice and yell at Rainbow Blitz.
Surefire, yell at Rainbow Blitz.
Rainbow Blitz, why must you do this to us? I was just about to ask Prince Solaris for his blessing and love.
Gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to that. Wait, what?
Oh, no, hold on a second. No, I actually found the line. It's, Rainbow Blitz, you move that cloud out of the way right this instant, or so help me Solaris, I'll bleach that miserable disaster you call a maid in your sleep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the line.
That's a deadly threat.
Yeah, that is
especially
to
a key factor in his identity.
Well, it's funny because then, of course, Blitz comes down immediately and says,
"This I gotta see."
He says, "Love, what? You found a girlfriend, Lucy?"
Lucy, yeah, Lucy, they call her Lucy.
I love that nickname.
My mom's name is Lucy.
Lucy, I'm home.
Lucy, I'm home.
Let's continue.
What happened?
Lucy, you got some explaining to do.
And finds Rarity. He's like, oh! Sort of the reaction. And he's just glancing back between Elusive and Rarity constantly, looking back and forth.
Because he kind of figures, wait a minute, these two look a lot alike.
Yeah, and so he's...
Well, yeah, he's thinking about it from the very beginning. Ends up looking at her cutie mark, though. And this is when Elusive backs Rarity up, because he knows that Rarity's cutie mark is fake, but when talking to Rainbow Blitz, he says
it's real.
Yeah, he says it's real.
Yeah. So there's a bit of defense for Elusive. That let's see. Yeah, that happens, and then what happens is that Rainbow Blitz gets a coy idea in his head, and it is to be invited to dinner. He's we should have a dinner celebrating this newfound love with you two, or something like that. Is there something along those lines?
Yeah, he's like, we need to have a dinner so I can introduce you to my friends. And what is it? Rainbow Bliss is like, well, I'll go get Duskshine. I'm sure he would love to meet Elusive.
I'm sure he would love to meet you.
I'm saying Rarity, not Elusive. God,
it's Rarity.
Miss Rarity.
Yeah,
I don't even know what kind of voice Rainbow Blitz would have.
Probably like Rainbow Dash.
It's probably more along the lines of something like this.
No, instead of, you know how Rainbow Dash has a tomboyish thing?
Yeah.
He probably has a really girly.
No, it's...
That'd be
that's
funny.
Bubbleberry. That's Bubbleberry. That's Berry Bubble. I thought it was Bubbleberry for a long time. It sounds better to me, but anyways, it's Berry Bubble.
It
does. Sounds good.
Alright, so, moving right along with the story. Say what happened?
They get to cooking dinner.
Yes, they get to cooking dinner. Rarity...
They get to cooking dinner. And of course, they end up, probably... kissing the entire time they were making dinner.
Yeah, well, Rarity's not for the idea of having dinner with Duskshine at first, but yeah.
But then Elusive's like, oh yeah, Silverbell is going to be here, and yeah, my little brother, and Rarity, missing her little sister, says, oh man, I gotta
stay and see your sibling. Let me stay right here and kick you some dinner. I meant cook.
And she offers
has a slight emotional breakdown.
Yeah, which is always hilarious
to make
ponies meant to.
She offers to make sweeties in Silver's favorite dish. I forget what it is.
Maple carrots.
Maple glazed
carrots.
Right, and
I'm so glad I have two chairs in my bedroom.
Oh wait, hold on, you guys. We did miss one thing though.
Was it with Rainbow Dash saying that Rainbow Blitz knew Fluttershy? No, we did miss that though.
No. Because at this point in time, like you said, Rainbow Blitz was going to get Duskshine, but at this point in time, Duskshine is over at the hedge
Oh yeah, there's something.
Because
like scouting out the area.
So
because that's where they saw Rainbow Dash fly over to. And so so he went over to investigate, and of course, it's funny because as they can hear Duskshine talking, and Twilight is talking to the other girls as it's going on, and they keep on saying the same thing at the same
Pinky's
time.
writing on her arm.
Pinky keeps track.
Keeps on keeping track of how many times it happens.
Yeah.
Big surprise, worst ponies think alike. Anyways.
She's not horrible. That's just your opinion, which sucks, by the way.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Righto.
So eventually, they do they meet up with Rainbow Blitz, and that's when they both leave because Rainbow Blitz says, "You gotta come over here." I think I found
one of those doppelgangers.
Yeah, we found one of the doppelgangers, and so they immediately leave.
It's Spy Guy Spines. I shall save you, my love.
Oh yeah.
Some things always carry over. Anyway, back at Rarity. back at Elusive's shop.
Back at the boutique.
Silverbell comes.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
And he recognizes Rarity from being one of the secret agents they met.
Secret agent.
Shut up. Anyways, he doesn't say anything to Elusive about it, but he knows. And he hears about Rarity making the maple glazed carrots that he loves so much. And he's like, he's immediately like, "Oh my God, please, you gotta stay. You gotta
stay, woman."
He's like, "Oh my God, you really have to stay here." And she's like, "Oh, I wish I could. But I have family back where I'm from that I miss my little sister."
Yep.
Well, no, he doesn't say that. He doesn't say that to. Rarity doesn't say that to Silverbell. He leaves to go get ready for dinner or whatever, and Rarity breaks down crying, and Elusive asks her what's the problem, and that's when she says, "I've got a sister, and meeting your brother just reminded me how much I miss her."
Right.
Wasn't one of her lines like, "I may have to choose between you and my sister," or something like that?
Yeah, she has to make a choice.
Frankly, that's a hard choice.
Another idea has come up, though. The thing that came up was with back over at the hedge. What it is that they overhear Duskshine and Rainbow Blitz talking about this doppelganger in the boutique, like we had said earlier, and so they have to come up with a new disguise to get some pony over there to get her out of there before they reach her or something like that.
And they choose Fluttershy yet again. Well, Rainbow Dash goes with her.
Yeah, but they need something. They can't just make a disguise right away. So what they did, Pinkie Pie pulled out some food coloring from, I think it's her mane or her tail.
Hammer space.
It was both her mane and her coat. They dyed her like green, I believe.
Yeah, they used blue on her coat, which turned her green, and they made her hair more lavender-like.
I don't remember what the exact colors was. I know her coat itself was green, but
because they called
it
the
grassy grays or whatever.
Grassy green. Yep.
Grassy greens.
Yep, grassy green.
And they use Rainbow Dash as the getaway vehicle.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
So Rainbow Dash flies Fluttershy over there, and right in the nick of time before Blitz and Dusk can get there, Grassy Greens or whatever goes in and says, we gotta go quickly. You're needed.
We have to do the thing at the time we said we were going to do.
At the place with the people.
At the place.
And so Rarity, after a very dramatic final speech with her love, exits the boutique.
Well, I thought it was funny because right after she leaves, then, Elusive goes into this speech saying, "I'm going to marry that mare, even if she never resurfaces in Ponyville again. I'm going to track her down. I'll move the heavens and the earth, and if that's what it
I'll
takes.
stand up to Solaris himself.
I'll even take on Princess Solaris himself.
Prince Solaris.
Princess Solaris.
If I want.
Himself.
But Elusive, you're monologuing it again.
But then, of course, Silverbell looks at him and just says, "Elusive, you're monologuing
It was
again."
worth it. And I meant it all, actually. That's what he says.
Doesn't she...
And I meant it all.
Doesn't she get the shampoo and the sunflower oil right before
Yeah,
she leaves?
she does. She does right before she leaves. She does get the
shampoo.
The shampoo.
She got the sunflower oil first before she went over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're so great at giving out details.
Yeah, we are.
So she heads back with Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash right as Dusk and Blitz get there.
Yeah.
And of course they're like, "Well, why did you keep her here? We told you to keep her here." And she's like, "Oh, I cannot keep her here."
A gentleman doesn't keep a lady against her will.
She had previous demons that had slipped her mind from the time I spent keeping her here held captive. I mean, what?
Luke, a gentleman never holds a lady captive against her will. That wasn't a Star Wars joke. That was a Professor Layton joke. But well, keep going.
I just felt like saying father. Righto. Now then, where are we at in the story? So they end up staying for dinner because they don't want the food to go to waste. Then again, who wants dinner to go to waste?
Exactly.
Okay, Bear Grylls, alright?
Wait, what? I've never even seen Bear Grylls.
Yeah, he sounded just like him.
I sounded like Bear Grylls. Does he talk like this then?
They actually had more of an Australian accent. Not the point. Onward with the story.
Not the point. Yeah, go on.
I like points.
They get back to the hedge and Twilight yells at Rarity somehow.
Well, because not only did she meet her alter ego, now this is the first time there's been some romantic interaction.
Which,
and I think
personally, I would find I probably would not do that if I met my counter self.
What? You wouldn't have sex?
No, probably not.
Where's the fun in that?
Anyways, moving on.
I actually thought it was kind of funny. There was back when they first heard that Rarity was over at Elusive's place. There was a line
by Rainbow Dash, Twilight Sparkle.
Yeah, something about like I don't think the world or like wouldn't it be ironic? God, I can't remember what the line was.
Anywho,
something along the lines of I don't think there's ever been
the universe exploding from sexual intercourse.
Right. Yeah, I don't know about the universe if it would explode simply from having two people having sex with each other. I don't remember what the line was. Something like that. But yeah.
Children go home.
This is rated M before we got started.
Yeah.
What children are up at 2 in the morning?
Me? Wait, mentally or physically? A defined child.
Both.
Under 15.
Under 15. No one's.
Then no.
No. Mentally, I can be as young as I want to.
Maybe.
Right now, I think it's 14.
Can we get on with this?
Please, yeah, let's get on with it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Get on with it. Sorry, Monty Python reference.
Of course.
So then, of course, Twilight's like, "Oh man, the world could have exploded with sexual intercourse," and so they get on with it, and they go to sleep, and the next day
the sun rises.
They're awoken. They're awoken by something very strange. They hear humming outside.
They hear bouncing is what it is, if I remember.
Yeah, bouncing and humming.
Boing, boing,
sounds
boing.
of that nature.
Well, no, because Rainbow Dash is making the watch.
Yeah, see what happened? They decided on this nightly guard duty where you'd watch overnight and see if any counterpart was coming. They decided on this the very first day, which is now actually just been story. We didn't miss that detail. That was actually mentioned right on this night when Rainbow Dash was on night duty. But so they decided on this, and so Rainbow Dash, it's early in the morning, and so Rainbow Dash is keeping guard, watching around. She's like, I should be taking a nap right now. But here's this humming, singing, and bouncing going on.
And who is it?
Me.
It's Bubbleberry.
Berry Bubble.
Might as well be me.
And so it's Bubbleberry or Berry Bubble, depends on if you like that.
Let's find out.
It's Berry Bubble in the story.
In this story, it's Berry Bubble.
I prefer Bubbleberry personally.
But I prefer Bubbleberry.
I prefer. Better. It says right here. Oh, by the way, my name is Berry Bubble.
Yeah, I prefer Bubbleberry though.
There you go.
Anywho, Berry Bubble is finally introduced into the scene. He's mentioned once in the background, back way when. We didn't mention this when Applejack went to get coffee in the marketplace. She went to Sugar Cube Corner and heard Bubbleberry in the background.
Oh yeah, the fragrance of dark coffee.
Yes. Mentioned way back when. Moving on, back some chapters. We're now back forward more chapters.
Back to the future.
Anyway, so like I said, he ends up going back there. So Rainbow Dash warns everyone, and they kind of hide. And of course, at this point, Pinkie Pie is sleeping, which is probably the best possible thing. Anyway, As he walks by, he stops dead in his tracks.
Looks up at the sky.
And immediately goes into this ridiculous spasm where, like, his hind legs kick up and go into, like, windmills.
It creates a Tasmanian devil sort of thing.
And his front legs go up and go into windmills, and then his whole body starts spinning into, like, this tornado. It's the weirdest Pinky Sense reaction.
And by
ever.
the way, Pinkie Pie goes through the exact same thing.
At the exact same time.
Right.
And then, they're all kind of documenting this, and they're all like, oh no,
no.
Oh god,
No!
no.
It's like, how was there a
so,
Pinky Sense for this?
And so Berry Bubble ends up going over to the hedge and just starts speaking to the bush as if someone was there.
Is someone here?
Well, he's like, I know some ponies there. My Pinky Sense, my Berry Sense never goes off unless some ponies there.
Yeah, he goes on this long
spiel. My Berry Sense is never wrong.
It was kind of funny.
He goes into one of those, like, Pinky-esque, really fast talking.
Yeah, pretty much. But what happens is all the main 6, which is actually the main 5, jump on top of Pinky so she doesn't move, and they cover her mouth. And while Barry Bubble is talking to the bush. He's not Barry Bush. He's Barry Bubble.
Barry Bush is talking to the bubble.
Yep, Barry Bush is talking to Bubble. Anyways,
moving on.
What happens is that he ends up talking really fast and ends up talking about. Oh, and then we could go on like about sarsaparilla and all this other stuff and keeps talking and talking. Pinkie Pie just keeps getting more excited.
It's the exact same kind of rant that Pinky goes on when she talks about the gala. She's like, he says, we can drink sugar tea and sugar soda and we can have sugar canes and sundaes and sunrays and sarsaparilla and I get to play my favorite fun games, Pin the Tail on the Pony.
Yeah.
And, of course, that's when all of a sudden Pinkie Pie disappears out of...
1 second, she was under the 5 ponies. The next second, they all fall to the ground.
Right. And she appears in front of Barry and says, Pin the Tail on the Pony, mine too!
Yeah. Personally, if someone just hopped out of a bush in front of me, I'd start laughing. And that'd also just be awesome, too.
It's Berry Bubble.
Exactly. Anywho... And immediately, they become best friends, talking fast, finishing each other's sentences, and talking about making a giant Mad Hoofs party. So they go to town.
And of course, this is when Rainbow Dash wants to go and try to stop him, and Applejack's like, we don't want to make things any worse. And Rainbow Dash is like, worse? There's 2 Pinkie Pies out there. We've reached that point already.
It's true.
This is the one acceptable time where we're already this is the worst possible thing.
Yeah. The universe can barely handle one walking black hole.
Yeah, we don't need another. Oh god, please, no.
This is the universe can only handle so many ARs.
Before we move on, AR, can we hear your Barry voice?
Oh, which one? Do you want this one?
Anyone will do.
It's pretty much this one right here. Well, this is my general one. I mean, I could go a bit higher and sort of give this kind of voice. That'd also kind of work, I think. I'm not really sure, but it could really work if I really wanted to.
AR does a good
It really depends on what kind of voice you want. I mean, this one works really well, too, but I kind of like the one where he's sort of high-pitch.
Anyone does.
I must applaud you for
well, you just have the right personality for it. That's what matters.
Yes. Why are we stating this now?
Because
keep going.
Barry and Pinky.
Because of my totally awesome Bubbleberry voice. Barry Bubbles.
I must admit, it's very good indeed.
Okay.
I like the part where he says where he talks about his names.
My name's Barry Bubble.
Barry.
Although some call me Barry, and others call me Bubble or Random. I'm not really sure because Random isn't even in my name.
It's not, Pinkie Pie responded.
Oh my god, it's not. I thought she responded, people call me that too.
People call me that too. No way. Yes way.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, something like that. I thought it was more along the lines of that.
Righto, moving along.
Alright, so, and then they go to town and they buy a bunch of party supplies.
They make the shop sell out of party supplies.
Yeah, and they traumatize the pony folk.
Well, and this is also, they back at the hedge, they do end up sending Applejack after
in a dress.
Yeah, in a dress. Because that's their new disguise for her. So she goes into town and finds the 2 at the supply store or whatever.
The party store, basically.
And Applejack, the male Applejack, also ends up coming over because he sees the two of them. So you have both Applejacks, you have both Berry Bubble and Pinkie Pie, and who sees them Duskshine? So Duskshine at this point in time is in loop just as much as Rainbow Blitz is, and so he calls over to Applejack and says, don't let them escape. Get them and just
Yeah, and then Applejack runs after
Applejack, the female one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Applejack, the female one.
It's pretty funny what happens here, is because what happens right when Duskshine yells at Applejack to chase after Applejack, the female Applejack grabbed Pinkie Pie by the tail and started running. And so Pinkie Pie's like, whee! And she just goes flying through the air like a kite sort of scenario going on, while Applejack's just running.
I wouldn't be too surprised about that.
Let's not forget the best part of the scene in the chase. Whenever Applejack's talking through muffled teeth, whenever the male Applejack is talking to her, and he's like, I can't understand you, and Pinkie's like, she said,
yeah.
And she's repeating what Applejack said.
Mm-hmm.
Very
yes.
sloppily. The translation is the best part of that, though.
Well, that's when Applejack is finally says, you don't have to imitate her mumbling as well. Please, tell me what she's actually saying.
Yeah, stuff like that. Chase goes on, expert lassoing. Applejack avoids the lasso from male Applejack. And then, this is so painful. And so you have, let's see, what else was there? She ran to a tree, bucked the tree. Giant fruit-like objects fell onto male Applejack. And he's like, no one can buck a tree like I can buck a tree. And then, that sounds kind of awkward. And then you have the continuation of running into old farm-like field sort of thing where there's a little ditch gulch sort of thing. What happens here is that Applejack sees a tree that she can use as sort of leverage to hop over the little gulch, and she uses Pinkie Pie as a rope to latch onto the tree and swing across.
Again, very likely scenario.
Yeah. What happens with this, though, is male Applejack gets the same idea, but with his lasso. There's a problem, though. The male Applejack is about 2 times as heavy as female Applejack, and
he ends up eating it in the middle of the gorge.
Pretty much. He falls and face first into the gorge.
No. He doesn't do that. His center of gravity is different, so he loops around the tree and ends up hitting the tree again.
Oh, yeah.
He does a Tarzan. He pulls a George of the Jungle, I'm sorry, yeah.
George of the Jungle.
Anyway, that's when Elusive catches up to... not Elusive, but Duskshine
He's out of shape.
Up to him.
It's funny. He's just like...
He's a nerd.
Did you catch her?
And of course, they go back to the...
No, you forgot the moment where Berry Bubble pops out of a tree.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Berry...
Oh, yeah, he pops out of the tree.
The super duper special hybrid Berryfic Pinkalicious Berry Pinkie Bubble Pie Bash Party.
Yes, that. He pops out of a tree and talks about it to them.
I recognize the name, but...
Right, yeah. So that happens.
Alright, and then, next, we get back to the hedge, and Twilight flips out just a bit more. And the whole time... The other main 5 are talking to her like, maybe it's okay if we meet our other selves. Nothing bad's happened so far. And Twilight is very adamant in her opinion. No, we can't do this. No, shut up. I'm right. We can't do this.
She didn't say she's right. She's just over-concerned.
She's just like,
she doesn't want to risk it. It's not that she's not saying she's right. She just doesn't want to risk being wrong.
But she's already been proven wrong multiple times.
But still, events can happen very oddly. I mean, it reflects on what's going on in that universe, but not their own, with them gone. And so it's completely mirrored worlds that have just become unmirrored. Something can happen in their world. So she's still concerned over all events, not just what's going on in the moment, not immediate effects, prolonging event effects on the blah universe. thing.
On the universe, yeah. On the multiverse.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it a different universe or a different dimension?
Different dimension.
Different dimension.
Those are two different things. Yeah.
That's what it is. Where are we at in the story?
All right. So, next.
The story ends.
What happened? No. Is that whenever Twilight goes to visit Dusk?
Yeah, that's when Twilight gives into peer pressure and eventually just goes out to find Dusk because there's no way she can do the spell by herself.
Yay, good morals in a story. Given to peer pressure, kids.
It was one of those things. Peer pressure can be a good thing.
Don't worry about it. Anyways, yeah, she goes to the library, and Dusk is sitting. I think it's late at night. Everybody else is asleep.
It's early in the morning, is what it is.
Late at night, early in the morning, same thing.
Pretty much.
I can relate.
Shut up. Anyways, so she enters the library, and Dusk is asleep at his desk.
No, he's not. He's reading. He's reading Aristotle's Rules of Casualty, and he's reading it out loud as well.
Yeah, and as he's reading, Twilight is also reciting the laws by memory.
Right.
And so, he sort of stops when it comes to the third one, and just Twilight says it out loud. And he's like, "So, you're finally here."
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun.
And they have that awkward moment. She's like,
"Yeah, that'd be pretty awkward meeting yourself, especially for a personality like Twilight."
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
I'd be fine with being myself. Pinkie Pie personality is the best.
But no, I mean, he says, "What is your final cause?"
Because it refers to the quote,
"Why are you
final
here?"
cause. She's all, "We just want to go home."
Yeah.
And at this point,
the story ends, and they all die at the end. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
They fuck.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, Dusk is like, I can help you. I can help you with the spell. After she explains the whole situation to him, she's like, I can help. He's like, I can help you with this, and she's like, oh well, I'm really appreciative of it. And the next day.
Okay, you missed a lot right there. There's a lot that happens in this night scene.
You kind of just
skip fine. Everything. You guys say I'm not good with recapping. I'm more good with the actual review part.
Well, here's the thing with this. This is the point in time where Twilight goes through the whole
reason that she didn't want to go meet Dusk.
I've been afraid of meeting you, and
yeah, I miss it. That is stupid.
What do you mean it's stupid? Explain!
Oh.
Can we wait until after the plot synopsis so that we can start nitpicking about different details of the story, please?
Well, here's the thing. At this point in time, she's realized that they have some kind of connection. When they're near their male counterpart...
Oh, yeah, they all have different reactions to each other.
She says that she always has a lump appear in her throat every single time that she's near Dusk.
Yeah.
Basically, every pony has a different version of the pinky sense when they're near their counterparts.
In a sense, I guess you could say, sort of.
More or less, yeah.
It says, and she says, how am I supposed to feel about you? Do I treat you like a cousin, like Applejack?
Her concern on how she reacts to
with
this.
abject aggression, like Rainbow Dash, or do I consider to take the route that Rarity took? I'm confused, and it scares me. There's no guide on how to deal with situations like this because this situation's never happened before. And so apparently she ends up just saying, the way I feel around you is kind of the same way I feel around Spike. And so she ends up referring to Duskshine as her brother.
There's a bit more conversation, but that's the basic idea, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then... I'm making you guys on. And then
you guys are going to keep talking. Well, what happens is that after this, she's still tired. She says, okay, well, I better go back. He's like, nah, don't do that. You're all tired. She's like, no, She falls to the floor. Not. But basically, she's just overly tired. So I'll go sleep in my bed. I mean, your bed, because we're technically the same person. And
right. So they do end up sleeping
but
together.
not in that way whatsoever.
In a platonic way.
It's in a sibling way. I've done that. I've actually done that with my sister before.
Yes.
So.
Never done that.
Okay, to paraphrase, AR has slept with his sister.
Yes.
He watches her sleep. I think that's all we need to
Yes,
know.
indeed. Moving on.
Anyway, in the morning, they do wake up and they go to get the rest of the crew, and that's when she's standing outside of the hedge, and each of the other main six come out one by one and are immediately, they see the sight with her standing next to Dusk, and that's when they decide, okay, we need to get this over with. Let's all go back to the library.
They all overreact, of course, to seeing Dusk shine there with Twilight, of course.
Yeah, well, because Duskshine's kind of been like I guess you can say the antagonist of the story a little bit.
So they do finally decide to go back to the library, but what they don't know is that Duskshine had left a note for Spines when he left, saying, go get all the others. So when they get to the library, all 12 of them are together in the same room for the first time.
For the first time.
And immediately, almost every single one of the main six is fine with it, except for Rainbow Dash and Rainbow Blitz.
Of course, they don't like each other. They're rivals.
Yeah, they're very confrontational.
Exactly.
Rainbow Dash has started to think of Rainbow Blitz as a rival, which is
but that's not how it ends with them.
That now that
we'll get to that in a bit.
We'll get to that.
Right. So she so she kind of refuses to talk to Rainbow Blitz, but at the same time, all of them are kind of having recap experiences. Fluttershy goes over to Butterscotch, and they talk, and
they hug and nuzzle, and
all that stuff. Rarity and Elusive get back together, and they do the same exact thing that they were.
More drama, which, by the way, is still hilarious.
Romance novel stuff. Yeah, Pinkie and Mary are planning parties, and then.
Yeah, I think, what was it, Pinkie Pie, Berry Bubble, and the two Applejacks start playing Twister,
not the two Applejacks. It was the two...
No, not the two Applejacks.
Fluttershy and Butterscotch.
The two Applejacks and the two...
Applejack and Applejack are sitting next to each other, just talking about the party going on, their thoughts about the whole thing.
And then they're talking, and then Twilight and Dust are still preparing the potion, and then the greatest thing ever happens. The two Applejacks are talking to each other, and the male Applejack goes, "Oh, what's her name?" And and she's like, "Oh, Rainbow Dash." She's like, "Dash, huh? That sounds about right." And then he's like, "What's his?" Blitz, and they start talking. They're like, "Well, maybe you should go talk to him." I think you bring a good point. And so each Applejack goes to talk to the opposite gender, Rainbow Dash, and and they're, I guess you can say they're kind of hitting on them.
Yeah, they're flirting with them.
Yeah,
kind of.
And of course, the Rainbow Dashes are kind of oblivious to it.
Of course.
And they're all confrontational. And I think this is the greatest whenever, who is it? Applejack, the male one, incites Rainbow Blitz is like, "I bet you can't beat me at a hoof wrestle." And then he's like, "What? Yeah, I can."
It's like, yeah, I can, but I don't wrestle mares. And then I have this picture where Applejack just like points her hoof over there. It's like, well, what do you think your other half is doing?
Yeah.
And then you just look across the room and you just see them.
So they end up in a hoof wrestle
great.
And they get along. Then they're playing Go Graze. You have Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy, Berry Bubble, and Butterscotch all playing Go Graze instead of Go Fish, little parody. Conversations between them, wanting to see each other again. They're pets.
Speaking of pets, we completely forgot about that.
Angela Bunny.
What?
We forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, we forgot about...
Well, the thing is, she's not too important. The only reason she's important is because if they'd let her go, because Rainbow Dash would keep an eye out for bunnies while on guard duty, because they didn't want to run to Angel Bunny's opposite, which they did, and made a little cage for her and kept her captive so she wouldn't tell Butterscotch about them. But they let her go at the library, sort of thing, and and stuff like that.
Okay, and then finally they're like, "Oh, it's time to go home, everybody." Yeah, they get in the center of the thing, and they're all talking, and then the giant bubble appears to keep people out.
And that's when the Cutie Crusaders show up, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just about.
And of course, Applebuck is like, "Oh, don't go, cause
don't go, good DJ. I love you.
Well, and what's even better is that Silver Bell has has been almost like idolizing over Rarity now because he wants her to be his big sister.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the more important one. I can't remember. Does Scooterville say much? Because
she doesn't say much. She just knows
really.
Rainbow Blitz and Rainbow Dash.
Yeah, he doesn't say much.
Scooterville.
Oh yeah, right.
Scooterville. The only thing that really that he says is when they first meet, he's talking to Rainbow Dash and says, Rainbow Blitz. I've been idolizing Rainbow Blitz for a long time, and I actually want him to be my teacher someday.
So that comes in a bit later.
But Rainbow Dash
picks up the hint.
That if Scooterville is having these ideas, then Scootaloo probably is as well.
Ooh. Sorry, I'm messing with something.
But
and then something very controversial happens between Rainbow Dash and Rainbow Blitz.
I hate this part.
I think I know which part you're talking about.
You want to talk about it then?
You want to talk?
Well,
how does this make you feel?
Let me go over it though, because at this point in time, they're still mad at each other.
It's sort of an awkward mad sort of thing going on with them.
Well, yeah, and it's like at first I think Rainbow Blitz shouts out that he wants to have a
race,
a race, and says,
to find out who's the fastest in all
don't
of
even
Equestria.
This is over. This isn't over. We're gonna have a race, and we'll find out who the best flyer in Equestria is, and let's don't think for a second that that's you. Next time I want a real race, and they keep on talking, and eventually it leads to I hope maybe you won't be so stubborn when I kick your flank. And then I think it's Rainbow Dash that goes on to say, well, maybe you won't wait till the last minute to tell you how you feel. And
I think we both sort of break down.
How do you think I feel? I think, and Rainbow Dash says, I think you feel pretty lousy. You're letting a pretty fella like me slip through your hooves. And so eventually they say...
they think they like themselves, sort of thing.
Well, yeah,
the teleportation's going on at this time, so they're shouting at the top of their lungs.
You better come back someday. I mean it, you Philly faker. And so she says, same to you, Colt Cutter.
It sounds like you said Colt Cutler. What do you think Philly faker sounds like?
So...
And then it's just like Rainbow Dash, Rainbow Blitz.
Rainbow Blitz, I think I love you, and I think I love you too.
Groan.
Yeah, I gotta admit, it's like, yeah.
The rival part, I love that. The loved part, I hate that. But
the thing is, with it, they don't know. It's that they think. They don't know. It's one of those rivalry-hate relationship sort of things.
Yeah.
It happens a lot in cartoons and other shows and stories like that, where you develop a love-hate relationship with your rival, someone you're able to compete with, someone that you know is always going to be there too, someone you can compete yourself with and know your own strengths and weaknesses compared to someone else's sort of thing. I just took that philosophically. Bam! What now? The Pinkie Pie personality took that
Sonic and Eggman.
philosophically.
Finally, they go home.
Finally, they go home.
Yeah, I know.
And this is 5 days after they arrive.
Oh, it's 14. Damn, I am off.
Wait, what? You thought it was 14?
I thought it was 14.
5 days.
I am off.
It was 5.
5 days.
5 days.
I can't tell time, okay?
How'd you get 14?
I don't know.
I guess you assumed 2 weeks or something.
I think
like
it's
that,
because we were
based
talking
on the
about age
dates.
earlier.
I don't know.
Whatever. Anyways, they go home, and they're like, oh, you know...
30 over there for him.
It's
No, actually. Well, here.
It's 1:30 here. Anyways.
Okay, well, still, moving on.
They start lamenting over missing
of
their
course,
counterparts.
Why wouldn't you? It's your counterpart. It's someone you can understand and talk with because you know them.
Anyways, they start lamenting over it, and I can't exactly remember the next scene. It takes place in the hedge.
Right, they go back. They go back.
They all
to
have
the
the
hedge
pizza party
because this is like where they want to. This is really good to remember the experience by. And when Twilight and Spike get there, Rarity and Fluttershy are already there, kind of fixing up the place. And that's when Rainbow Dash shows up, Pinkie Pie shows up, and actually Rainbow Dash has come back from the pizza place because I think it was Pinkie Pie or whatever that ordered like
pizzas.
12 pizzas or something like that.
I don't know how many.
Either way, I would have had a whole box for myself, and I would have been happy.
But
that was needed.
all 6 of them are there, and that's when the Cutie Mark Crusaders show up.
Yeah, and they're like, "How'd you?"
Yeah, they're like, "How did you know about this place?" And they're like, "Oh, we have our ways." Weak. Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, a little birdie told us."
Some little birdie told us.
And then
who was it? Was it that one? Come here, you! Starts beating up the bird.
I don't remember what it was.
But I can't. Anyways.
But actually, it's a good thing I mentioned Scootaloo because she becomes a bit important here. Sort of, not important, just...
Well, yeah, Scootaloo gets there and Rainbow Dash, offers to give her.
Well, it's not just that. It's not that she goes outright and says that. She asks about how Scootaloo's. She's going to go to flying school soon to learn how to fly, and Scootaloo says, I don't really want to go. Be embarrassed because I can barely get off the ground now, sort of thing. And she says, "Tell you what if I become your personal coach?" So Scootaloo declines,
and then Rainbow Dash. And then Rainbow Dash starts abusing her, right? That's how most stories go.
No.
It's Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Dash doesn't abuse.
That was a Scoot abuse joke, but thanks. Yeah, thanks for ruining it.
Everyone in the audience, all 3 of them hate you right now.
Joke. No one likes Scoot abuse jokes.
All right, so. All right, I'm drawing a blank. And the story ends, basically.
Well, yeah,
it doesn't.
But no, they all have a pizza party.
After that, Twilight says, "Spike, take a letter." I can't believe you forgot that, Chris. Right there, take a letter.
This is, this.
Well, I hate Twilight.
How do you hate Twilight?
Nitpicks afterwards.
Yeah, well, let's get on with this.
Get the letter first, and then we'll all talk about our own little personal gripes with the story.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Writes a letter to Princess Celestia.
They write a letter, but she says it's a letter from me to myself.
Me, myself, and Irene. Was Jim Carrey in this letter?
Yes. No.
Okay.
Moving on.
Sure.
I am bad jokes galore tonight. I love this.
Yeah, this is why we stayed up.
Anyway, apparently it goes to Princess Celestia, and she receives this letter. She said she's been getting a little worried because she hasn't heard from her for 5 days.
And probably bored, too. She has nothing better to do.
And then gets this letter. And doesn't say what it says right away, but as soon as she gets done reading it, she dismisses her guards, goes up to her room,
she's in her
room. Uses her mirror
to ask who's the fairest of them all. And
dimensional mirror.
It's a dimensional mirror because Celestia is such a troll. She would already have a frequency to be able to use a mirror to talk with Prince Solaris. I mean,
no, it's plot convenience.
No, it's Trolestia convenience.
Actually, Bow Wow, by the way.
Well, there's a little bit of funny scene, but anyway.
Convenience.
I hear Echo. Whee!
It doesn't matter. I can barely hear it.
Whee! It's fun.
Stop that.
AR,
I like hearing the echo. Moving on.
Just continue with the rest of the letter.
Anyway, so they talk together, and they're like, I guess
I think I have
my student has had quite an adventure in your dimension, and they get to talking a little bit, and they ask, how's Luna, and Princess Celestia asks how Artemis is, and eventually they kind of
They exchanged letters.
Yeah, they exchanged letters because they said, here, take this, because it's from your student.
I have a question. What did they call Nightmare Moon in
Apocalypse,
the other universe?
Anarchy Apollo.
I say like Anarchy
Apollo.
Or something.
Yeah, Anarchy. Yeah, something
I think
like
it's
that.
Anarchy Apollo.
Anarchy Apollo.
I like Anarchy Andy.
Probably not it, but moving onwards and
the
upwards, all at the same time with words.
Yeah, it's Anarchy Apollo.
Because Apollo means moon.
Apollo was a terrible
name.
So they exchange notes and then they say goodbye. The funny thing about this is that they say their goodbyes. They're like safe times, and they turn around.
Princess Dolores says, before you go, Celestia, see you later, sweet thing. She's like, you too, hot stuff.
I know.
It's like, what? They've done it with each other.
They're themselves. Moving onwards, yes, that's it.
Well, she
Blue Blood was born. No.
Well, it even says here, like right in the story, it says she admitted to herself that she really was looking forward to next time. Even a goddess needs to get her kicks every now and then.
But
she has Luna for that, I thought.
Having a troll's night out.
That was a very bad joke, Chris. Get out of the call right now.
I'm sorry, guys.
I legitimately apologize for that one.
Oh, you're talking about that,
Not
Chris.
You, Chris. You have Chris. Chris the second.
Not you, Chris. That is Chris.
The other 4,000.
Moving onwards.
That's it, isn't it?
No,
the story
there's the 12th chapter.
We're not talking about that. That's like the second two movies of The Matrix. We don't talk
fine then.
about it.
It's a sequel
setup.
It's a sequel setup. And
it's the first chapter to the sequel.
There's no reason to talk about it because it has nothing to do with On a Cross and Arrow. That's all about On a Whisper of Wind.
And the sequel is terrible.
Well, we're not going to talk about that because this is about On a Cross and Arrow.
Now we talk about what's really important. We each picked a pair, not like a fruit
pear.
But
pears
like
are good.
I
have some in the fridge. I should go eat one.
I don't like pears.
Bye, Berry Bubble. We'll see you later.
We each picked a pair.
Except me, I got stuck with two.
Discuss.
Because apparently I'm loved.
Hey, I got stuck with two also. Anyways, and Lightning.
Only 4 of us. There's nothing we can do about it.
Lightning,
exactly.
you care to?
You want me to start off?
Yes.
Who'd you have?
All right.
Lightning, go ahead.
I have Rainbow Dash and Rainbow Blitz.
No, I'm joking. They're my favorite.
Anyway, no.
Just your idea on how they contrasted the characters, how well they fit the personalities for both the opposites, and their interaction with each other, pretty much, and how they fit into the story. I made that up.
The way I see it is that it actually worked out pretty well. The fact that their relationship, that they found each other to be rivals, works off of the fact that they are both big egotistical.
Super competitive people.
They're both egotistical. They both find themselves to be, better than the other. That's why they found themselves to be rivals. And it wasn't until the end when, they decide that there's more to it than that. There's an attraction behind that as well.
It's like I gave my little philosophical speech earlier.
Which one?
I had more than one?
So, I mean, you have... It's kind of funny because, it's also Rainbow Blitz that's the one saying, these guys are Philly fakers, they're, evil, they're here to, take over. And it reminded me a lot of the very first episode, because Rainbow Dash is the one that comes up to Twilight and says, are you a spy?
Are you a spy?
She's automatically the one to kind of jump to conclusions about people that, she doesn't know. And so that's why I found that to be a really good impersonation of a male Rainbow Dash. As for the relationship, like I said, I think it works out because they both would seem to find themselves to be better than the other, even though they're the same person.
Someone to compete with, someone to test your strengths against.
Right. Their egos get in the way of that, though. And it leads to them... It leads to them kind of being ashamed with themselves after they leave. Because, you know, Rainbow says something like, I wish I wasn't so bullheaded. I should have told... I should have told Rainbow Blitz that Scooter Roll wanted him to teach him. You know, because she never got the chance to tell him.
Now, AR, I believe it's your turn if Lightning's done.
Are you done?
Yeah,
okay,
I think that's all.
You like the pairing, correct? And you think you fit well. That's the basic idea, okay. I got stuck with Pinkie Pies. Why? It's my personality, and they instantly voted me to it. And so as they just started talking, they're like, okay, AR's definitely stuck with Pinkie Pie and Berry Bubble. I'm like...
Well, you're not here, so we get to decide.
No, I was there when you decided that. You instantly voted me for it. Either way, I'm okay with it. So, what happens...
No, the reason we voted for you because of it is because if any of us took Pinkie Pie and Berry Bubble away from you, you would probably punch us through our screens and try to harm us over the internet. For Pinkie Pie and Berry Bubble?
Little known fact, AR is a Chuck Norris ponies.
I didn't even know. I thought I was a Pegasus, but all right.
You can punch people.
I thought it was the Chuck Norris of alligators.
That could work too. We're all saying, now then, let's go into the personality of Pinkie Pie. I believe the story captured the personality of Pinkie Pie very well. Then again, it's not very hard to do random personality. It's just a matter of how you portray it and how they fit well in the scenes. It fit very well, but I believe them meeting was quite hilarious. I mean, I can just imagine walking up to a bush, start talking with Berry Bubble's personality, like, oh my gosh, are you in there? Is someone in there? I hope that somebody's in there, because if somebody new and that I've never met before, that'd be quite amazing. And so it goes on like that. And then just the idea of sharing all the similarities with Pinkie Pie hops out of the bush in front of him. Hi there, I'm Pinkie Pie! I believe that fit very well into the story. And then instantly, of course, having the same ideas and likes and interests, they instantly become best friends. That is the relationship with Pinkie Pie and Berry Bubble, is becoming best friends, because that's their personality to become best friends with anyone. And of course, they're going to become best friends with themselves. It'd be very interesting for me to meet myself. Right. Anyway.
Your gender bender.
Oh dear Lord, that'd be interesting. I don't even know how to react to that. We'll have a little discussion about that afterwards. So,
all of us meeting our gender-bendered selves.
Why not?
Once again, I'd make a very ugly woman. Let's not go into that.
So throughout the story, of course, you have them hopping along and through town, all these stares from all the other ponies, and this constant overreaction, like, what's going to happen? There's two of him now.
Hold on. Did you just say clopping along?
No, that's literally the...
Oh, thank God. I said clopping along. I'm like, oh my God.
Clean out your ears, you boy.
You know, clopping is the sound that horses make when they walk, right?
I know, but the connotation we have for it isn't whatever.
Well, you have a perverted mind. So get it out of the gutter, dang it.
I do.
No. Oh, you son of your mother.
It's nice there.
You think of their butts when someone says plot, don't you?
No, I think of corn.
No, I don't.
That's why I can't say, I just thought of a good plot for a story, because
I say it anyways.
That's why you always say, I come up with a good story.
Idea, yeah.
Hey guys, I got a real bad idea! No. So, going on with this, the scenario with Pinkie running for her life after talking with Bubbleberry and eating a smoothie and still talking as fast as they both can, and every pony concerned, so running for her life, that was funny in there. Overall, after this whole meeting, and them in the end, of course, just hoping to meet each other again and wanting to instantly throw a supermassive party when they get back, it really fit the characters well, and I believe the pairing of Pinkie Pie and Berry Bubble is done well and quite funny. It's funny getting all the reaction from everyone else reacting to two of the same crazy pony in one world.
The end of the world as we know it.
No. All right, are you done?
Now I am.
Oh, okay.
Now I am.
All right, Surefire, it's your turn, because we got to split it with two people that sound alike.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so we have our two Applejacks.
I don't know why I did that.
What
is that? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I really like going to the Applejack.
Okay, I'm done. Okay.
It's very distracting. Would you like to talk about the two Applejacks if you want to be the center of attention?
Well, I can, but no, I'm not going to.
Why not? Well, okay then, if you want to. Okay, I'll pass.
No, please, God. What?
Okay.
They are.
Okay, but anyway, I really like the two Applejacks, really, just because of the way they interact for the most part. They're both, tied in because of family roots and all, basically, and pretty much the whole reason they met was because of Applebuck originally. Seriously, stop doing that. It's very distracting, actually. And I hate being put on the spot. It's so annoying. But, stop staring. Goodness. Jeez. But when they originally met in the stall, basically when male Applejack is basically like, questioning female Applejack is like, are you truly Apple family? And like this huge thing of doubt between the two of them. It's like yes, I'm Apple family. It's like here's my proof. All of this. It really just reminds me a lot of myself and my brother for the most part, really. So that's why I could really, relate to that sort of thing.
Your brother has the same name.
Your brother's name is Chris?
You?
What? No.
Oh God, no.
We already have enough Chris's. We have 5. We don't need any more. And it's already really annoying.
Is what you're saying.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I really like it.
Okay, now, Elliot.
Elliot. I'm up.
Now.
God damn it.
We're still on the clock.
Sorry. Okay.
Flu.
The Flutter Nutter Butter thing.
Flutter Spy.
The Fluttershy and Butterscotch relationship. They were pretty much identical. The only difference was that Butterscotch was male and had shorter hair.
Butterscotch?
Don't make him laugh.
It's 3 in the morning for me. Be quiet.
We need some drinks.
It's 3 in the morning.
Oh
Give me
boy,
a
3 a.m.
No, the relationship. Honestly, the relationship really did work for them though, because Fluttershy is afraid of everything except herself. So who's the best?
She's still incredibly nervous.
No, she's afraid of her shadow.
There's a difference between yourself and a shadow. I would know. I've talked to my shadow. It didn't respond like me talking to myself.
Precisely, and
it's kind of weird.
And since
that's why I've done that before, or know that.
Basically, be.
Yeah, I don't.
Why have you done that before?
It's fine. We don't want to know.
Afterwards. Yes.
Fanatic Fiction After Dark. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
I thought this already was the After Dark edition.
No.
Okay, but still keep going.
Elliot, wake up! Dang it!
Elliot, keep going.
Are you done already or something?
No, you haven't even gone into the relationship and that stuff.
It worked because they're not afraid of each other because they're afraid of everything else.
Okay, that.
I don't know. Just cut me out of this episode.
I'm just gonna shut up now. Go ahead. Back to you, Chris. I'll just go lay down over here.
Okay, now we get to the best part. It's my turn.
He gets to rant on and on about Twilight.
Okay, guys.
I have the terrible, despicable, fucking worst pony.
Well, then why didn't you give me Twilight Sparkle? I would have gladly.
Because I wanted to rant.
Fine, I'll rant against you with your rant.
Okay, guys, hold on to something. It's going to be an earthquake here in about 8.5 seconds.
Okay.
Then again, I'm up north.
Anyway. Twilight. I don't like Twilight to start with. I don't like her personality. I don't like the way she acts. I don't like her neuroticism. It just annoys me. It reminds me too much of my older sister, who I despise.
I don't think you should have these couple because you're too unbiased. You're too biased against this couple.
No, that's the whole point.
Hold on, I'll get
to that thing, and he'll talk about all he wants.
So immediately in the story, Twilight's exhibiting this really nervous, like, oh no, we shouldn't do this. The implications. What if the world blows up? That's understandable. But then they meet everybody else meets their counterparts, and she's still like, oh
it's
no,
her personality
bad stuff
type.
can still
she can't
happen.
help
We
it.
don't want to do this.
People are like that. They will continue to react to small situations. I know a lot of people who do that. It's fun to mess with them. But aside from that, moving on.
But here's the same thing
happened. It's about time. Remember,
Dusk is on the other side, and he when he figures out that they're doppelgangers, he's like, it passes through his mind that this could be bad, but obviously it's not. And immediately he's like, oh, okay, well I better go find them because I need to know what's going on here. But Twilight's still being this neurotic
Of course.
fool,
Have you seen Lesson Zero? Or
yes,
I would use
that
it's
too.
about
Those
time
work
example,
very well
okay,
in this.
Sure.
But if the universes or dimensions or whatever are mirrored, that means that has happened in their universe too, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So that would mean Dusk should exhibit the same neurotic behavior as
Not necessarily.
Twilight, right?
It's different scenarios. See, the thing with the personalities is you react to different scenarios differently. The Twilight's personality, there are two different scenarios going on. One is from the point of, I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing. One is, I should go fix the problem that this other pony's doing that shouldn't be happening. So they're going from two different perspectives. They're the same personality, but it's two different scenarios going on for both of them, so they're reacting differently.
Well, plus they're getting information from two different sources. Like Rainbow Blast. Rainbow Blitz is
their
feeding
child. Rainbow Blast.
Rainbow Blitz is feeding Duskshine information like these guys are evil. They're here to take over.
Shouldn't that make him more neurotic then?
Well, that's why he tries to go and like confront them. That's why he's trying to confront them throughout the entire story.
But he doesn't overreact as much as Twilight did.
That's true. He doesn't overreact as much. But more than likely, the reason is because he has more information in his head about this whole scenario than Twilight does. He's still reading on with the book that Twilight didn't.
But you would figure Twilight would at this point because, one, they were brought there first. They actually know what's going on. They know the whole gist of the situation, how they got there, what they are, what the universe is, but still she is freaking out more. She literally has the upper hoof, but she still feels like she knows nothing.
She knows nothing. How would you react in an alternate universe?
It depends. What's the alternate universe? Okay.
And then here comes the final whenever they finally meet, and whenever they finally meet, Twilight's like, I was scared to meet you. Every time you.
That's all.
Every time you were here, Elliot. Hold on, Elliot. You can leave now. I'm pretty sure. I just need to get done with.
You can go to sleep now.
Yeah, I just need to get done with these two. So you go ahead.
Okay, get out of here. Go edit my story.
We'll see you guys later.
No. Go. Shut up. Anyways.
All right.
Yes, Taskmaster.
So whenever they first meet, Twilight's like, I was scared to meet you, and I always had this lump in my throat. And Dusk is like, I always had that too, but I still felt that I needed to. I still needed to find you. And unlike all the other pairs, their reactions were completely different. And that set me off with the whole Twilight Dusk thing.
I'm trying to think this through. Let's
see. That's my
another thing
and
also
now I could
is there's a difference because of gender, actually, because of Dusk's role in the library with having a younger sister in a sense. So he has to not have as much fear. He has to reason a bit more because it's more of him feeling as if he has a younger sister protecting her constantly. So he doesn't overreact as much as Twilight Sparkle would. If you get what I'm saying there.
Yeah, that is true.
I guess. Alright, and then on to Rarity and Elusive, probably my favorite pair out of them all.
And this is where it gets to the After Dark portion.
Oh, yes.
2 +
spoiler warning. Or not spoiler warning.
3, 6.
Should we put a warning tag?
Rarity and Elusive almost do the horizontal monster mash.
Pretty much.
And it's quite funny because they go into a lot of detail. The author sort of goes into detail about it, and then it just kind of like stops abruptly. I think when Silverbell enters the house, or was it?
It's like that record scratch.
Yeah. And I just think the relationship is so perfect, like the over dramatic romance novel. It makes it hilarious.
The end of days.
Yeah, it's just so funny, but also it kind of people, the both vain. They're very vain. They're both vain personalities. They don't see the resemblance, but they see the beauty in each other.
Because Rarity's in love with herself so much.
Exactly. So that's what I'm talking about. The vanity. It kind of influences the relationship, and
it's
very telling of Rarity's.
No, sorry. Maybe I did.
Maybe I did.
I didn't.
Maybe I wrote this story under a different name.
Whoa.
Did I just blow your mind?
Wait a minute. Then are you self-aware of the mistakes you made in your own stories?
Yes, I am. No. I hate Twilight. That's
the only reason he took her, so he can just rant on about his hatred for her. I like her person.
All right, so I mean, I can't say much about the Rarity elusive other than it's just great the way they interact.
What did you think about the reaction with that type of personality? Did you think it fit well and stuff like that?
The great thing though is whenever they finally all of them meet up in the library for the last time before the mayors leave, and they just go straight back to all the hugging and kissing and whispering sweet nothings in each other's ears.
Lovely.
It just shows they can instantly do that. There's no trepidation or anything. I just think it's very telling of Rarity's character, and it's a very real representation of it from the show. So that's it for me.
Yes, it is.
So
yes, it is.
Lightning, you want to do the story spotlight this week? Wait, hold on. Wait,
you have to review the story itself, not the characters.
Sorry. Lightning, what's the score you give it?
Well, let's see. I for one loved this story. It's one that I have always wanted to read and never got the chance to. And now after reading it, well, yeah. Now after reading it, I'm like, I'm almost wanting more. It's kind of a shame that the sequel's about Applebuck going to the because I kind of wish I want to see more of those interactions with the main six.
Or at least Pipsqueak the pirate.
I totally agree there. By the way, I wanted to see more of the main six and
AR and Delta.
Yeah. No one wants to see that. No, I'm kidding.
But yeah,
oh, come on, I'm looking forward to that.
So, I mean, I liked their interactions in the first place, and I would have liked to see more of that. But as it is now, as just a few minor things got in the way, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
All right.
Well, overall, I really enjoyed the story. I love the comical relief with the interactions of their counterparts, meeting your opposite gendered self. It is a comical situation, and it's something that's going to be entirely awkward, which is where the comicalness of the story comes into play. Meeting your opposite gendered self. I mean, Chris says he would make an ugly girl. He'd probably be stuck laughing at himself.
Oh no, I'm a total asshole. So I bet the female version of myself would be a fucking bitch.
Like Trixie bitch, or
I like how he gets into categories. There's subcategories now for this.
Yeah, there are. According to
it's kind of like Trixie, where I'm better than you. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about.
Pepper's reaction. Anyways, moving on. So, why did I part doors open? I pushed my arms out like I parted through doors, sort of thing. Anyways, I made that motion. Okay. I'm moving aside. I'm why did I do that? So, I love my hand gestures. So, righto. Now then, the story overall, I think, did a great job on giving an alternate perspective, because a different perspective on the show itself, making you, I don't know where I'm going with that. What the heck am I saying? So, I liked it. It worked very well. It was very comical, like I said. The story, let's see. It's enjoyable to read. Something you don't mind sitting down. I've never actually took the time to read it. Everyone kept saying it had Barry Bubble's voice and personality. Who the heck is Barry Bubble? Until I actually heard of the story, I'm okay. Then I never actually read it for a couple months after I heard about it. Then I got forced to read it because of this thing. So, after reading it, I like it.
You guys act like I'm the
Have
slave owner.
Have you met yourself? You're
come on,
slave
I
owner.
To read this.
Except me. I'm sort of like the dog that bites through his chained leash and then runs around in circles around the tree because I think I'm still stuck to the chain. So, that's actually a great illustration of that. Moving on.
Someone make fan art of that now.
One of you 3 people watching us, go make fan art of AR running around a tree. But yes, I'll give the story a 9 out of 10 as well. But real quick before that, I want to point out some downsides because I don't want to just be great everything. a bit of it was being, like Lightning was saying towards the end, you want more to the story. It's a shame that you don't really get to see more of the perspective on the main 6. And a bit of a cheesy ending, I think, slightly. Then again, most things are cheesy in the end. That's how they all start out. And then I keep on wondering, will they ever go to Manhattan? You never know.
But they never made it to Manhattan. I really, really like the story.
You really like the story?
I do have a couple of really minor. And I was so interesting.
I can't say.
My
gosh,
cool.
I can't.
You're a Valley girl like you are now.
It just okay.
Please, I'm not doing that voice again. But other than a couple of really minor nitpicks, I really don't have any gripes against the story. Like AR said, it's the only real problem I have with that. It's a little too short.
It's 86,000 words. It's too short. What? No.
Well, it's like you said, it's there's not really all that much interaction between them.
You get so little, but you love the little interaction, and it's enough to want you to read more.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But then you realize, it's not all that long, so you don't really get all that much.
That's what she said.
You and your horrible jokes. All right, Chris,
Welcome to
Chris, BT, you can start talking. I'm just going to start calling you BP now because of your terrible jokes.
All right. What did you give it, Surefire?
I'm not sure whether to give it a 9 or 9.5, so I'll say 9.25.
All right, now it comes down to me, the person with the usually lowest scores of the bunch.
It a 2.
He gives it a 2? No, Rarity and Elusive alone.
I gotta admit, but the whole idea was very comical. The way the
like
author
said, awkwardness. It makes for hilarious stories.
Was meant to be very funny and very exactly. But then at the end, you have this really out of place moment with Twilight and Dusk. It's very serious and supposed to be touching and heartwarming, and it just felt so out of place. Where it just kind of threw me for a loop. And that's one thing. And I also another thing to nitpick the sequel once again.
You can't.
I can't let that impact.
Do not bring the sequel into this. This is the first story. Don't bring the sequel.
I'm just gonna say one thing.
Don't bring the sequel up.
I'm gonna say one thing. This series is like The Matrix, where you can only acknowledge the first and the sequel. You're just no, those never happened. I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought you were gonna bring up Star Wars, but okay.
No, that'd be prequels.
Star Wars was good though.
And,
Star Wars did it well.
Anyways,
moving along.
No.
Somewhat.
It depends.
Anyways,
yeah.
We'll read Star Wars later.
The interactions are all right.
I'm joking.
But once again, I have a problem with the whole Twilight Sparkle thing, and I think I'm going to have to give it a 7 because of all my over analytical self.
We're gonna have to read a fic without Twilight in order for you to give it a good score.
Yeah.
Well, Cupcakes didn't have Twilight technically. What'd you guys give that?
I gave it. I think I gave it a 9.5.
I wasn't even in that one. Go read my story, Derpy Who. No, I'm joking.
I gave it the highest. I gave it the highest score of the bunch. I think.
Go read my story. I don't have Twilight in there.
There's only one Twilight Sparkle story I actually like that I'd probably give a high score.
Okay. Well, still.
Everybody, okay. You ready? Here's my spotlight. Here's my story spotlight. Everybody, go read the experiments in Twilight Sparkle.
I like how you hate Twilight Sparkle. Go read the story about her.
And yet you go read the story.
That is the only story I like her in because she's a mad scientist.
The pinky and the brain. The pinky and the brain. One is a genius. The other's
murderer
insane.
and the psycho.
The laboratory mice. All right, moving on.
Nothing's better than reading Fluttershy basically snapping her own neck from flailing her head around.
I love how you said that in such a nonchalant tone.
That happened to the story. Anyways,
thanks for spoiling it. I'm not going to go read it now.
You should probably. Here's the thing: if you're going to spotlight a story like that, make sure you explain the genre
and give the summary of the story. That's something that you, if you want to make this work. Wait, it's already working. No, I don't know. 3 of you watching, tell us if it's working. Wait, don't tell us. Oh, why am I making more hand gestures? Anyways, I did the door thing again. Stupid hands. Shut up, hands.
Anyways, Lightning, do you want to enlighten us on your on a cross and arrow thing?
Wait, what?
He's doing an audiobook for it.
Thanks for ruining it.
You just ruined his life. He's gonna go cry in a corner.
One of my side works is doing readings of fanfics. After reading this story, I presented it to my team, who thought it was a good idea. So I will be holding auditions in the near future for On Across the Narrow, being that there are about 27. Actually, no, I think it's more like 29.
Now, question? Will the audition post go up on EQD or not?
I'm going to give it to EQD. Usually they post that kind of stuff.
Okay, if EQD doesn't post it for some strange reason, where can they contact you with their auditions?
For auditions, definitely. If you want to contact me on Skype. My address on Skype is matthew.whita1. We'll put that in the description of the video.
Yes.
And you can contact me on Skype. All you need to do is tell me what roles you want. I also have I have a cast list of all the different characters. I think. Oh, can we put that in the description as well?
Yeah. We'll put a link to it if you can give me like a link to a Google Docs or something.
Yeah. I have a Google Doc made up of all the different speaking roles.
I'm auditioning.
And so I can give that to you guys. And if you're interested in a role, contact me on Skype. I'll give you the audition lines.
Unless it's the year